The national debt's crazy, and what can we do as just average everyday people to prepare ourselves for what is coming? Well, I'm going to give you a quick high level from a simple man's view. And while I've done everything I can over the last 10 to 15 years to understand all of this, I want to break it down and distill it in a simple way of how I'm thinking about this and what I'm doing for my family to prepare. So, when it comes to national debt, we're looking at over $34 trillion. Simply put, servicing that debt, so the interest on the debt, like the interest on your mortgage, we're paying an extra trillion, which is being added to it every 90 days. So in 90 days, the national debt will be 35 trillion, 90 days later, 36 trillion, and so on. And that compounds, so it gets bigger and bigger and worse and worse. There's no way to really reverse that. We're not creating enough value on our nation to pay down that debt. And historically, when debt to GDP, meaning your debt exceeds the productivity of your nation, whenever that goes above 125 to 130%, you start to inch towards absolutely no recovery. And this has happened across every country on planet Earth, and that's when you start to experience forms and systemic hyperinflation. You see this all over the world where hyperinflation is happening, but it's not happening in America yet because we own the world reserve currency. The US dollar is what essentially runs world trade. Back in 1913 and 1971, those are two very key dates where you can go back in history and study exactly what happened. In 1913, we backed the dollar by gold and therefore pegged other currencies to the dollar. In 1971, we left the gold standard, which left everyone pegged to us, and now they kind of are bent to our will, and their currencies get weaker faster because we can print ours, which is the most valuable currency in the world, and buy more of what we want, which hurts other people. So when you think of this term and saying from the Bible, the love of money is the root of all evil, well, our nation is obsessed with money, and we go anywhere in the world we need to murder and kill people who don't use the dollar. That's why we go to most wars, is because people don't want to use the dollar, or we're trying to go into these countries that put us at risk of having that ownership. All that being said, back on track. Right now, what can we do as individuals? Because groceries are up 50%, insurance on our homes are going up, repairs are going up because the cost to make goods go up. When it comes to our nation solving this debt problem, the one thing they can do is print more money. When you print more money to pay down debt, it always goes to the top, to the rich, which everyone complains about, and it takes a long time to trickle down throughout the rest of the economy down to us. That's why whenever we print a ton of money, we see some immediate inflation, but then it continues over and over and over and over. And inflation compounds, meaning prices don't come back down like we've seen. Our government loves to come out and say a lot of these things of, we got more jobs, like inflation is reduced. Yeah, it might be down to 3 to 4%, but the other 30% that's happened is still there. Prices aren't coming back down and our wages are not going up fast enough. So what can we do? The interest is continually increasing on our national debt. So what can we do as individuals? Because this will only get worse. There's no way around it. Well, there's hope. And the great opportunity for us as people is there's two things we can do. Number one, we have to go out and create more value in society. Because when you create value, you earn more. This is why when you see minimum wage workers, they demand higher minimum wage. What happened to McDonald's people? You get replaced by computers. All right, you just lost your job. You don't get that increased minimum wage. DoorDash and Uber in California or New York, they move minimum wage or the wages that they get from, 10 or whatever, less dollars an hour to 20. What's likely going to happen is DoorDash is forced, in order to remain profitable and even be open to give people jobs, they have to increase prices or leave New York or California completely. So regardless, if you're a minimum wage worker doing the bare minimum work, like low level skill work, you always get replaced. There's no way around it. You either get let go or you're replaced. So what can you do? You must build skills. Investing in yourself, investing in your skills. Luckily, we have the internet. If you're watching this YouTube video, you can go to YouTube and learn anything you want right now. Good for you. Right now, you're learning about economics, finance, national debt. What are we going to do to handle it as people? Well, number one, you have to create value. You need to go out and learn new skills and create value. Part two, the other thing that you need to do is you need to save in a better form of money. The reason everyone is an investor nowadays and buys stocks, ETFs, and has to go out and chase down real estate and subject themselves to a lot of this national debt and like these financial crises we have is because the dollar is not worth holding. we are more inclined to spend the money because the money loses value, or invest the money because it's better than holding dollars, which get printed and lose value. So, as this debt system systemically rears its head into everything else, like the debt is what funds real estate. That's the only reason people are homeowners. You take debt from a bank, right? Whenever these other assets that are going out there, like stocks, for instance, they trade at multiples. They don't trade on what they did this quarter. They trade on a multiple of their current earnings. It might be a 20x, a 30x, a 50x multiple. So you're really betting on the future growth of the company. And whenever uncertainty happen and risks happen, it's typically unforeseen. And things are quite risky right now in financial markets. And betting money on the stock market and leaving it in there, sure, there's going to be a crash sometime. And whenever there's crashes, you keep buying, and over time you make money. That's totally true. If you just want to take that approach, but you know, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And the one thing that rhymes about this is everything is more overvalued than ever, and there are new assets and new opportunities available that were not necessarily available before. And what I mean by this is a better form of money and information asymmetry. Thanks to the internet, you have the ability, better than any generation in human history, to learn new skills, to create value, and to build human capital. You can take your skill set, and which is human capital, and put it to work to create value and make more money. You don't have to rely on a job. This is why people love side hustles, and this is why people are spinning up businesses and starting businesses at a higher rate than any time in the last decade. Next, a better form of money. A lot of folks aren't just looking to preserve their wealth because the money's being destroyed. You're losing purchasing power, which at the end of the day, we don't want money. We want money, what money gets us, which is time or experiences. So people are not looking to preserve wealth nowadays. They are looking to grow their wealth. So if you want to grow your wealth and have a better form of money, you're going to think I'm crazy, but the better form of money is Bitcoin. This is why you see Larry Fink, the largest capital allocator on planet Earth at BlackRock, buying it. Paul Tudor Jones, one of the best investors of all time. Bill Miller, another investor, one of the top 5 investors of all time. Cathie Wood from ARK. You see Fidelity, one of the top 3 to 5 money managers on planet Earth. They have the Bitcoin ETF, and they have a very bullish case where it's going to be in the millions. What do they know that we don't know as average people? Why are the smartest capital allocators and financiers in the world betting and investing on Bitcoin? Well, it's because it's a form of money that no matter what happens, when the price goes up, you cannot create more. It's decentralized and distributed. Like a lot of the internet that we use and open source software that runs this world that we run on, like Linux systems, if you've never heard of those, they're in every phone, camera, TV we use, like the internet, which is decentralized, and like Tor, which hosted a lot of the music that we all downloaded in the 2000s and the 90s when we made burn CDs. Tor powers the decentralized internet, and it's the largest onion network in the world. There's layers to it. That's a whole other topic. Our world runs on decentralized open source software. Bitcoin is just this form of money. So, I know you think it's probably a little crazy, but these are all things we must consider, and these are very important facts where for us as individuals, the most important thing we could do is go learn new skills and create value and not settle for minimum wage because you have no hope if your hope is minimum wage. You can place your hope in Christ, and you can place your hope in your own sheer ability and will to learn and do more. And lastly, when it comes to saving in a better form of money that's globally recognized, that not only the biggest financiers and investors in the world are using, but nation states are working towards using, like El Salvador and Texas in America, who is defending Bitcoin mining. And the biggest mining country in America is Texas. It's the size of a country, and it's stabilizing their energy grid. There's a lot to learn, and ultimately, there's no way to service this debt. We're going to print more money. The cost of goods are going to continually go up, but we are blessed to be in America. And ultimately, for us, we need to make a very rational decision of, do I want to build my skills and create more value and earn more money with my time? Because you work 40, 50 hours a week, a normal person. Are you going to earn more for your working time, or are you going to settle? That's a question you have to ask yourself. And part 2, with the money that you earn, are you going to save a tiny bit in Bitcoin? $2 a day, $3 a day. $5 a day. What little things can you cut back? Because had you had done this the last, few years, $5 a day, $10 a day, a few bucks a day, you would have anywhere from $20 to $140,000. So think about that. I hope this is helpful. I'm going to keep sharing these real and raw thoughts, and I appreciate you guys. I really hope you follow, share your comments, and I'm grateful for you. I'm going to be sharing these just straight up videos, no editing, and I like this because it's a conversation. It feels like it's a conversation with you all, and I appreciate your questions, comments, feedback, everything below. But make it a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.